Hey, what's up, everyone? It is Coach K here. I hope you guys are having a great day. Or maybe you're not having such a great day because you looked at the market, but things don't look so bad as you can see in the chart right behind me. We're going to go over that today, so don't worry, we're all good. Danny, nice to see you. Leroy, Vatican, nice to see you. It's been a while. If you're watching on YouTube, guys, just jump on and say hi. Let us know that you're here. If you have any questions, this is an AMA style of video today, so you can ask all you like. I will happily answer all your questions about what is going on and do some more charting at the end of the video. But today we're going to focus on what has been going on with crypto and where are we going. So without further ado, let's jump in and get started. Now, the first question most of you probably have for me right now is what has been happening with crypto? Why is it just, fallen flat? And I mean, we can go and we look at this chart here, but the thing that we need to look at first is our weekly chart. And what I noticed here is look at all these big, huge green candles here, and it looked really great. But let's look on BTC USD on Coinbase just to get a better view, because we can add some volume here and show you what I've been seeing lately. I saw a volume divergence in the last couple weeks. So the last few weeks we had this nice growth, right? And while we had this nice growth, if you guys know how volume divergence works, and if you don't, this will be a little bit of an educational thing, is when volume keeps increasing and then all of a sudden our actual volume, when our volume is decreasing but price is increasing, that usually is a little bit of a bearish sign for the market. Nice to see you, Numo, Lily. Anyone else watching, say hello. It's great to have you guys here. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share, promote, whatever you guys like to do with the video. When we see stuff like this on a weekly chart, we had this nice doji here, dragonfly doji there, and we could see that, yeah, we were not in a good spot. So I told a bunch of my friends recently that, hey guys, it looks like we're going to be quite bearish tomorrow, and they were like, why? And I was like, well, first of all, a lot of influencers are overhyped about Bitcoin's price right now, and we didn't look so great. So on a weekly, it doesn't really look so bad right now, but this is in one day of a week. And that was all last week. So we definitely had some flip, a little bit of a flip happen overnight. And if we go on a little bit of a different outlook here, we can see that we saw Bitcoin was going to jump up right there. But let's just let me just go back to XBT on BitMEX and show you why we're not really in such a horrible spot. So this is the Ichimoku clouds, guys, and generally what the cloud does, the bigger the cloud, the more support or resistance. So we also have our Kumo and our Tekken, and so we did have a Kumo Tekken's cross right here, but it's not really a strong one. And another thing that we see is it's kind of acted as support as well as the 236 Fibonacci line. So not so bad, been pretty strong, and we've been keeping on this uptrend, so we're not really out in trouble yet. This line I drew from last like on the 31st of May, so about 4 or 5 days ago, and it's still kind of following in the upward trajectory. When we will be worried if we break into the cloud and below this line, because that could start sending us into maybe a little bit more of a bearish cycle. But I don't think we're there yet. I don't think you really need to worry, and I'm saying I don't think because I don't know anything yet. Hey Lloyd, Haley, did you discuss EOS? Not yet. I will be discussing that next. It's right after. I just wanted to start with some charts because of the start of this video was talking about where is crypto going. So Bitcoin is still technically in an uptrend, guys. We don't have to worry yet. And if we do have our correction, remember, that's healthy. We need to eventually break down, come probably to the 618 before we start moving back up to a new high. Okay, let me just show you. If we're gonna move to a new high, I'm thinking around the 11K mark, and we could definitely break into that $15,000 mark as well. If I just do one thing really quick, I'll show you why. We'll do a Fibonacci. Where are you? On my tool. There we are. Let's do a trend-based. All right. So where we could go to. I'm thinking that we're gonna hit this 2414 range, so 12,000, but that's only if we correct down to where I was showing you. we're not in a horrible spot right now, and summertime generally is a slow time in crypto. So don't worry yet, and we don't really have anything to freak out about yet. And as you guys can see right here, you know, we're still above the cloud. We're still on an uptrend. Don't freak about anything yet. If we break down below this and we do an E to E, which is an edge to edge, we could see the bottom of that cloud at the 7,800 range, which a lot of people have been talking about. XRP definitely has been breaking out. Another really cool thing about XRP we can go to and look at, there's a couple big pieces of news that have happened as well. So it's kind of like normal XRP. When it does its thing, it does its own thing, has a mind of its own, and moves outside of the normal range of Bitcoin. So Bitcoin can drop, but that doesn't stop XRP. We also have the guy who created XRP tip bot also, which is really interesting, came out, and what he did is he made this new bank app, so you can actually use XRP as a bank, which is really interesting because it gives a lot of use case to the actual currency of XRP, whereas we all know many people use XRapid and XCurrent, and not yet technically does anyone really use a lot of XRP, especially the banks, but they will. We all know that's going to come across soon. And we can look at ETH as well. People have said it's held up quite nicely, and it has. We had our 3 inside up last week, which drove us really nicely up. That was on the 6 hours, so you can't really see. But yeah, within our dip, and we've had another dip, but we haven't even touched this trend line yet. So we're not in the doghouse per se with ETH yet. I just think that we're touching the top of the cloud and we're using it as resistance, as I talked about here. And so as long as we stay above the cloud and we don't break into it, we're also okay. So lots of really positive things still. We're not like freaking out time yet. But that doesn't mean that we won't come back down and retrace. We're going to have a retracement, everybody. And if you didn't learn from 2017, early 2018 that we're going to have a retracement, then I feel sorry, but this is going to happen again. So you have to prepare yourself to know that, yes, we may retrace 30% in summertime, and then after summer we will come back stronger. We have this huge wave that we've just gone through. I don't know if you guys have noticed, I'm sure I have, that we've gone on this massive wave up. We can call this one maybe wave 2, but I don't think so. I think we're really we're at this end of the first wave, and if we correct down ETH, my next target for ETH, and a lot of other people's targets for ETH is in the $400 range. So we're gonna get 300 to 440. We're gonna come up to that point. So a lot of positive things still, but here's a really good thing that not a lot of people do, and I want to stress this. When I make a trade and I get into profit, what do? Some people say this is bad, some people say it's good, trust your trade, etc. But when I get into a trade and I'm in a lot of profit, well, let's say I'm in 30, 40, 50% profit and I'm holding that coin, what I generally do is I go down at 35% profit or whatever it is, that range, and I'll actually set a stop loss. So if what happened today happens, we stop out in profit and I can rebuy the dip. This is something that you could do with all your pot, some of your pot, but it's a great thing. Now, I'm just going to jump into actual news about EOS. EOS had a couple big things happen recently. The first was that they're actually doing coin burns and rebuys. Why this is important is because when you burn coins, I don't know if you guys have noticed with BNB, they generally go up in value. Second thing, they've actually reduced the annual inflation from 5% per year to 1%. And the reason they're doing that is because they don't really need to have 5% inflation. The 4% was being accumulated into a savings account, and then only 1% was being distributed to the block producers. So if you don't know what the block producers are in EOS, go take the Coinbase, go on Coinbase right now and go get $10 of free EOS to learn how the block producers work. I'm not going to spend all my time explaining it because I know a lot of you guys already know that. So we're going to stop making it, and EOS got to vote themselves, and the people that voted and staked said that yes, they wanted to reduce inflation. Very good. So two positive things for EOS. And then Block 1 has this social network that they're going to be using, and basically a KYC social network without the bots. If you are doing something, it is you. You can't hide behind a keyboard and act like someone else. You have to be yourself. You have to be your face out there. And This is really important. So EOS, obviously this news caught a lot of people kind of like and they like dumped the crap out of it, but that's okay. Long term, this is a very strong fundamental project. dApps will be fine. We have the voice. This is what it looks like. You can sign up for beta and check out how it will work. Basically, it's not really solving a lot of problems is what a lot of people are saying, because we already have Twitter, but you know, this is something that is supposed to make it like even better than Twitter is, okay? And KYC on the platform. Facebook as well, global coin. They're gonna have the CTFC talk. They talked with the CTFC, and what they've came up with is that they're just trying to figure out how they're gonna use global coin, and if they're gonna do cross-border payments, and you know, what are they actually gonna be using it for? So Giancarlo from the CTFC, he hasn't had a big problem with it, but he said it could fall under the remit because they could be like a USD stable peg coin. So they're trying to figure that all out, but they think that the way they've done it is very clever, and I mean, it's Facebook, let's be real, they spend a lot of money on this type of stuff. Another big thing in the news is Bitcoin's difficulty reached an all-time high, meaning that miners are obviously having to mine a lot harder than they were in January, because as Bitcoin's price rises, more people want to mine it so they can get Bitcoin worth $8,000 or $9,000 versus $3,000. Makes sense to me, but this is probably bad for miners because they're mining and mining and mining away, and the halving is less than a year away. So we'll see how their greed, if the difficulty for mining will punish them. Let's put it that per se. India as well has cryptocurrency regulation apparently confirmed. They have to go through an election. There's a lot of different things that are going to happen. They need a new finance minister, and they're trying to figure it out. But this is very bullish for India, because before they didn't really have this as an option on the table. So we're going to see that India, very likely we're going to see them have crypto regulations come in. They're going to submit it to the office and vote on it, and this whole idea that India is crypto unfriendly and all that, there's a lot of outpour by their community, and I think that this is going to lead to, you know, new positive movements in the crypto side of things in India, which is obviously great. And I mean, Indian community has been campaigning lawmakers to have positive regulation, and I think that's what they're going for. So this is actually a very positive thing for India, and very positive for everyone else, because obviously it's a huge community in the world. Next up, Binance. This is a really interesting thing. So I had about 10 messages from different people saying, is Binance gonna lock me out because I'm a US citizen? The answer clearly is no. What Binance actually is gonna be doing is not letting you use the DEX. So the Binance DEX, decentralized exchange, which is it kind of sounds funny, because why would you be a DEX and then block people from countries? But they're going to be blocking out certain users from certain IPs. Now, if we all know from BitMEX, you can literally just get a VPN and log in anyways. This is not me telling you to break the law or do anything bad, but it is something that you still can do. Bitfinex is looking to launch Tether on the Lightning Network. This is a really cool thing that they're going to try and do. I don't really know why, to be completely honest. You know, it gives Lightning Network a little bit of a two-layer protocol that aims to make Bitcoin cheaper. So I guess having USDT on it will also give you the ability to use like a stable coin, which is kind of nice, I would have to say, because some people don't really want to spend their Bitcoin, even though they should be, because that is how this industry grows. I mean, in my own group yesterday, someone was saying, hey, I make shirts, I have my own textile industry, and there was another guy in our group that said, yeah, like I would love to like get access to that. And then I told them, the only way you guys can do business through this group is you guys got to pay in crypto. Is that okay? And everyone was like, cool. And I was like, awesome, because that is what's going to bring us forward, not just hoarding and hodling crypto, because if you don't ever use it, what is the point? Right? So start using some crypto. You don't have to use all of it, but use some of it for God's sakes. I mean, that's the whole point of it being created in the first place. Now, this is something interesting. No cash. I don't want you to use no cash. Why? Because I don't like when you use cash. Why? Because I don't know why. Local Bitcoins came out and said, we're not accepting cash for crypto anymore. People are getting robbed. People are getting killed, apparently. I haven't really seen it. I mean, I've heard of one case or something like that, but you know, cash for crypto, they're trying to cut that out. So I guess also that makes it kind of more verifiable. So if you get a bank to bank transfer. It's a lot harder to steal people's money. So these things do make sense, but the anonymity side of crypto with liquid bitcoins, which is why it became so famous, kind of loses its edge a little bit. And so maybe it won't be as lucrative as it has been, because I personally have some friends that do cash deals through local bitcoins, and likely now they're just going to keep those people's contacts and not do it through them, which is going to maybe open up a different bag of worms. So fun in the sun, as they like to say. Does anyone have any questions about anything that I've been talking about today? I just wanted to get through it nice and quickly so no one has to stay here too long. It's been really nice seeing everybody here, all you guys that are around right now. Now, is there anything that you guys would like to know about? Is there any questions? Little AMA time for you. Nice shirt on, Joel. A lot better than your muscle shirt. Keep that look up. Thanks, Steve. It wasn't a muscle shirt. It was actually, I actually have it here right now. It's my Raptors jersey. And I'm a really big fan, and they kind of messed up today, so I was a little bit sad, but it's okay. Things work out. So yeah, ask us some questions, guys. The floor is yours. If you want to see some any other coins to be looked at, for example, that can be done. I am looking at shorting Tron right now, so that's something. If you're looking at if you want to ask me like what am I planning to do, I'm planning to short Tron, just because the volume's starting to taper off, the price action starting to taper off. We did touch the tech and bounce. We did have a tech and bounce, but I do believe we're probably headed in terms of Tron somewhere into this range over here, that back down to the bottom of the cloud, or at very least to have a Kujin bounce down here on the this red line right there, which would be around 409. So that's something else. Vet, okay, DJ, no problem, man. We're gonna go to Vet and check it out. So VeChain, this is one of those projects that, like, the fundamentals for it are just incredible, but the whole project just doesn't have a lot of movement. Now, VeChain would be one of those ones that I would hold quite a long time, and here's why. Let me just go to the weekly and show you why I'm saying that. Look at how low it is right now. It's bottomed out. They have all these huge partnerships with, and that is some really interesting stuff right there. Will it come back? I definitely think so. And when Vet does, I do believe that it will shoot up towards that 200, 150 range, or at least to this level. We are looking at a lot of resistance when we come into this area, so 100 will be hard. But I mean, even if we went from here to the edge right there, it's 25%. So it does have a lot of positive movement. And the question is, and DJ, as just to answer this, we look like we've had a double bottom right here on the daily, so that's actually probably not a bad thing. It's not low enough to be technically double bottom, but it's looking very much like one. And so usually when that happens, we shoot up. But if Bitcoin drops a lot more, we have to probably be patient on that one as well. How do I feel about layer 2 solutions? Good question, Steve. I kind of like them. Some people say that they don't. There's things like Rootstock that are interesting, but at the same time have done extremely poorly. You know, and it's kind of upsetting how Rootstock has done so poorly, but that might be because they're just developing some stuff, and I'm not really too worried about it, to be honest. I think that they have a cool team, and they're doing a lot of educational initiatives. Layer 2 solutions like Lightning Network are going to change the game for Bitcoin because it speeds a lot of those things up. I have friends that work in the big part, in the big scheme of things in Thailand. My buddy Damien he's a big, huge Lightning Network developer, and he believes even, you'd think a Lightning Network maximalist would hate stablecoins, but he actually really likes them. So I think that layer 2 solutions have use case. It's hard to say which ones I like or don't like, but there's some interesting ones for sure. And yes, it might be a temporary fix, but at the same time, I think that that's how we may make Bitcoin have more use cases, because technically Bitcoin's a really simple line of code. That's 4 lines of code apparently, and that's pretty much it. So it's quite simple. And because it's so simple, you know, you kind of had to add a layer on top of that. You know what I mean? So that's the issue with that. How about ICX, the latest news? What was the latest news, Paul? I must have missed that. I'll check it out right now. ICX news. I mean, ICX has had news all over the place, and then the thing is, it hasn't really done very much. Cardano I can decline along with the rest. I don't see any ICX news here. What are you talking about? Binance traders are betting big on Nano and ICX. That was a long time ago. Maybe you could share that with me. I don't see it anywhere over here. Looking, but I haven't seen that. What is this? Can't detach itself from the bottoms. Yeah, I haven't seen anything there. So do let me know what you're talking about. XRP vet hollow price predictions for the next bull run. That's a really hard question. I hate making them, but I think that if we're going bullish, we're definitely going to hit, you know, the 160 range for vet again. We very much could test the top of this cloud right here on the daily, so maybe 200. But I'm not really a big price predictor because I know some others who've done that, and then people really didn't like them very much anymore when they were wrong. I don't think I'm going to be wrong. XRP is, here's what I think is going to happen with XRP, and it's very bullish, but it also could be short-term bearish. I think XRP is going to do something that looks like this, and I have to zoom out a bit to show you what I'm talking about. Oh, this is the wrong X. Hold on. Let me just go to my Binance list right here. 1 second. Or let me just do it this way. I want to show you something, guys. Maybe we do it in USD on Coinbase, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. So here's what I'm expecting from XRP. I think that by the time we hit October, go on the weekly. Wait, okay, I think that in summer, okay, in the next couple months for XRP, we are going to have a steady decline back to that 32-cent range, maybe even lower. Okay, what I'm expecting to happen after that is this, and don't quote me completely on it, but I'm telling you this is very likely what happens. If we start a bull run, it will start around October to the end of October to start November. Here is what you should probably get ready to see, not based on TA, based mostly off fundamentals. XRP are marketing geniuses. What they're going to wait for is Bitcoin to be so high priced that they cannot, the people that will look at XRP at 30 to 40 cents and go, that's cheap. Okay. When they look at XRP as cheap, I bet you $100 right now that we see XRP back to what it was in the olden days. Okay. And what I mean by the olden days, I mean the olden days when it was way up there. Okay. When we're in December. Now we could see XRP eclipse $3 to $5 in the next bull run at the top. Okay. Why do I say that? Because everyone knows what XRP is. B, you can ask most people, what do you know other than Bitcoin? That's the coin they know, okay? That's huge. Now it's going to push us high above where we're going to look for, okay? So I think that $3 to $5 is a very good range to look at. And if we're looking at XRP to USD, let me just give you some idea on Bitstamp because that shows dollars. We could see this happen. All right, let's look at our prediction. I'm looking for between $4.16 to $5.25. That's the range I'm looking at, right around here. That's the range I'm looking at for the next bull run, and it could go even higher. No joke. I'm not thinking $10 is possible, $20 people talk about, but I think that's a realistic range. I called 10K for Bitcoin in the year, so I was wrong with that, but I was happily wrong with that. I think everyone would be. In which exchange am I working with? I usually do most of the things on BitMEX and Binance. Those are the two that I use the most, but obviously with IEOs and stuff, you can go, I use Huobi sometimes, any different other exchanges, but I try to stick on only 1 or 2 exchanges because there's too many coins and you can make just as much money trading the pairs that you see right here on this list than you can trading all of them. So, you know, the problem is when you try to look at too many different projects and too many different coins, you can usually make mistakes. So that's also something to be cognizant of, okay? Dan, nice to see you, brother. Check out Litecoin July 10th before it has its jump. Now, if any of you guys have seen my prediction for Litecoin, you may be a little bit surprised, okay? LTC USD. Here's what I've been telling people will happen with Litecoin, Okay, this is my old prediction. Actually, this is not my prediction here. Hold on a second. I told everybody that you have to look at the halving, okay? The halving happens right here on this line. You see that line there, guys? That's the halving, the day of the halving, all right? Right there, August 6th. What will likely happen and what happened in the past will probably repeat. We're gonna see Litecoin probably move up a little bit more. Okay, we're using, let's go on the daily, actually, it's probably a little bit easier to see. Probably see it go up to this target right here, maybe 180, maybe not even that. And then we will start to see it slowly decline after, back down to where it was before in this range around $60 to $75, something in that range. Okay, why do I say that? Because traditionally the last halving the same thing happened, and history in crypto tends to repeat itself. If you haven't learned from the last bear market because you weren't there, it does tend to repeat itself, so keep that in mind. You mean June 10th, it almost doubled. Yes. Litecoin has halving coming up. Now, here's this halving right here. Am I on Coinbase? Let me go to Bitfinex, LTC USD on Bitfinex. Let me show you guys something. Last time there was that. Oh, there's my prediction right there. Here's what I think is going to happen. We're going to be right around $164, come down, test at 115, go up a little bit more, and we're going to start dumping. This is what I've said from before. Now, if you guys give me a second, I'll try to find the last halving, 2015. Here was the last halving right there. Let me just show you what happened the last time. There we go. So Litecoin did the same thing. It had a nice parabolic movement. Does it look familiar to you guys? So had a nice parabolic movement, went up like 200%, 500% actually, and then it started to dump, came back up and dumped again, and it stuck around, and then it started to move up later again, but stuck pretty slow, and then steady movement came afterwards. So that's what I'm expecting to happen for Litecoin. That is very likely what will happen for Litecoin. We will probably see it move up a little bit more. We will see it drop. It'll come back up and it will drop again. And then we'll have it be stagnant for a little while. That's very likely what happens. Okay, Coin says, Lightning Network doesn't have problems with payments over $100 or so. Lightning Network is actually scaling every single day lately, so that's going to happen. What's up, Coin? Nice to see you. Thoughts on Dash and Monero? Dash has been doing very well lately, actually, to be completely honest. I mean, it doesn't look like that on this chart, but if you actually go out and zoom out a little, if you zoom in a bit, it bottomed out around 0.16, and we look at on USD because it's a lot easier for most people to understand because Bitcoin went on a parabolic movement. We can see that Dash was around like $60-$70. It's been moving beautifully. It's had some nice parabolic pushes up, and we can see that by the volume. So volume has been pushing up. It's kind of tapering off on the moves now, but we have to just keep an eye on it because that's just because crypto is like it is, you know. And I could see Dash again. If this turns into more of a handle, we could see a cup and handle here because it looks like a 30% move. Absolutely. So it could be a cup and handle, or it already was a cup and handle and then it moved. But if it is a cup and handle, it should be at least as high as the cup, right? So if we came from here to here, we should see it about at $400 again at some point in the near, not near, but in the future for sure. Question from Gozen. I can for you 5,300 for Bitcoin, 1.89 for okay. I'm used to charts against USD for all coins. Can you please explain what pairing against BTC does, both practically and cognitively? Okay, so when you use BTC, it tells you, because when you're trading against Bitcoin, you're trying to increase the amount of Bitcoin you have in your wallet. If Bitcoin goes parabolic and your value of Bitcoin goes down, you actually lose money. So for example, if I trade Dash to Bitcoin and Bitcoin goes up 40%, 30%, and Dash only goes up 20%, I lose BTC. If I lose BTC and BTC is worth more money, I lost actual profit. Unless I'm only using USDT and I don't have any Bitcoin, I don't care, that is how it works. So cognizantly and practically, if you're using Bitcoin, your idea is same as you're doing Forex, you're trying to increase the amount of cash flow you have in your pocket. When you're using Bitcoin, you're doing the same thing. You're trying to increase how much Bitcoin you have. Now, because Bitcoin moves, you have to not just look at, for example, when you're trading, okay, I want to look at EOS. I can't just look at EOS. I actually have to look at Bitcoin. So if EOS from May 22nd until June 1st went up 35%, and then we go to Bitcoin and we look from May 22nd and we go to June 1st, if it only went up 20%, I've increased the amount of Bitcoin I have, and Bitcoin will, I'll have more Bitcoin, which means that I'll have more money. If we're using USDT pairs or USD pairs, we actually don't care about the price of Bitcoin, but you should, because when you go to places like Binance, they show you how much Bitcoin you have for a reason. If your Bitcoin goes from 3 to 2.9 and you've increased your dollar value, if you had left all your money in Bitcoin, you would have made more Bitcoin. You would have made more dollar value, than if you didn't trade it at all. So that's something you have to be really cognizant of. So you're always trying to outperform Bitcoin, which is extremely difficult. Absolutely agree. And this is why some people do trade off USDT pairings, which is fine. I mean, when I go on to my Binance list, okay, and I go look here and I go, okay, I want to look at my Binance list. I actually use some of these as Bitcoin pairs and some of them as USDT. Now, this is a list of all my BTC pairs, and as you can see, the market has not performed very well because of Bitcoin. Bitcoin's price has had a very rough day. And when it pulls the whole market down. So the only things that have done better than Bitcoin today are these pairings right here. And they really haven't done that much better than Bitcoin because it pulls everything down with it. So the whole idea here, if you start with 5 Bitcoin, you want 6 Bitcoin, 7 Bitcoin, 8 Bitcoin. If you are trading and making more dollars, but you're losing Bitcoin from 5 to 4, you've actually lost money, even if your cash flow has gone up. So the whole idea is trying to get more Bitcoin, but it's really difficult. Does that mean that if you're not willing to trade against Bitcoin, then you might as well leave it all in Bitcoin? Yeah, I mean, you could definitely just leave it all in Bitcoin and ride the highs. But when Bitcoin does something like this, and I'll show you some examples of that on the daily, when Bitcoin did this, okay, and it stuck as a stable coin for, I don't know, how many months was this? It stuck as a stable coin for 67 days. In those 67 days of sideward movements, I am sure that you could look at things, other coins that were probably outperforming Bitcoin, and you could have been trading and making more. If Bitcoin is parabolic, moving up $1,000 in a day, like it did on April 2nd, 1,255 in a day, that's when you have to realize that you're not going to beat Bitcoin, and you sell all your other coins and you leave it in Bitcoin and you let it ride up. When you let it ride up, eventually you'll get to that point where you're happy and you're good, and you will go back to where you want it to be. Now, what's really interesting is what I think is going to happen here. So we look at Bitcoin and we're looking at it on a daily, we look good. On the 4 hour, it also looks okay. On the 1 hour, let's look at how that looks. Now, one really important thing when you're trading, you have to understand that the lower your time frame you trade on, the less accurate you're going to be. So keep that in mind as well. But here on every time frame, we're still making higher lows. There's nothing freaking me out yet. Okay, I put stop losses in at this level, at the 8,000 level, $8,000, because if we go below that and we make a lower low, yes, that might be something that might alarm you, and say that we might not be increasing. And we do see something that's also interesting here with this. We're seeing kind of a nice little pattern here. Now we could be bouncing off the bottom of that and go towards the $10,000 range very easily. Actually, if we have a really nice bounce, we could go up. So another thing to keep in mind. Anyways, I'm gonna let you guys go. Have a great day, everybody. It's been nice seeing you. I will be back on Friday. So every Monday and Friday, I'm gonna do a live feed. Every other day of the week, I'm going to make short videos to do synopsises so I don't take up your whole entire afternoons by talking and answering everybody's questions. But it's been a great time, and remember that we're not in a horrible spot yet, and we're gonna be fine, okay? There is no reason to discuss all the time on YouTube. It's over for now. Not to be patient, wait and see what will happen. Nobody knows. Yeah, Jesse, you're right. Nobody knows for sure. And let's just chill and see where we go. So have yourselves a great day, guys. And I'll see you all on Friday. If you have any questions, concerns, comments, join me on my group on t.me Athena Project, or come onto Block Traders on YouTube, or onto our Block Traders channel on Facebook. Hit me up, let me know what's up, let me know your thoughts, feelings, any information, news, etc. If you're watching on YouTube, click that like and subscribe and share button, and I'll see you guys soon. Have yourselves a great day. Coach K signing out.